Welcome to the agenda with me, Lasha in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Tonight we are joined by a criminal investigator and as well as forensic investigator. We shall be talking about what is the duty of such a lawyer, and also he was crowned recently by the founder of his village as Ntumfon. We are talking about Barrister Nsungkikang, who was recently crowned by the founder of Bengui as Ntumfo. He will be representing the fund in the center, south and east regions of Cameroon. We are with him tonight. We want to find out from him what is the duty of Ntumfo. What will he be doing exactly in the center, south and the east regions of Cameroon? I'll be right back after this jingle break. Ntumfo Barrister Nsungkikang, good evening and welcome to the agenda.
Good evening, thank you very much.
The very first time we are having you on the program.
The pleasure is mine.
It is always our tradition to have our guests for the very first time to introduce themselves to our million televiewers who are watching us. Who is Barrister Nsungkikang?
I understand that it's a time very difficult to talk about oneself. Well, having been given the opportunity to talk about myself, let me try, because I would rather prefer others talk about me. I'm Nsungkikang, my name. I'm a lawyer with professional residence in Yaoundé. I happen to be the president of common law lawyers in the center, south and east region. I'm equally the national president of the Village Development Association. I'm a sworn criminal investigator, expert in forensics in Yaoundé. A family man. I'm married with 4 kids, and I was honored with the title of a Ntumfo.
Yes, Ntumfo. The title, we have just 2 in the northwest region. Yeah. What is the function of a Ntumfo?
Ntumfo is the ambassador of the fondom. But the ambassador of the fund, you talk on behalf of the fund, you represent the fund. You do all what the fund is supposed to have done himself wherever the fund is not there. Of course, in my own case, we have been given an area of jurisdiction. I have been given the area of center, south and east region to be able to mobilize the people of Bengui in this region, to be able to bring them together so that we can foster development in our village and progress of all Bengui sons and daughters wherever they are in the center, south and east region.
As an SCF militant, were you surprised when you were named by the fund of Bengui as Ntumfo?
Well, whether an SCF militant or not, I don't think that I was appointed because I was SCF militant. I was surely designated because of what I've been doing in my village. Of course, I just told you that I'm the president of the Village Development Association. In my capacity, we have had to do roads, we have had to do libraries and gun books, we have had to bring pipe-borne water, we have had to put solar lamps in the whole village. So I think that it's out of what I've been able to do in my village that I was given that title. And when I was doing all these things, they have no political color. All what I'm doing in the village is about development. And if I had to do politics, it's because I care about the development of my people. That's why I dare to do politics.
And what is the benefits of Ntumfo to the village or your community?
The benefits of having a Ntumfo in your community is that the people are now closer to the founder. the fundum is now represented as somebody who can easily move and meet them wherever they are. Of course, I continue in my development drive in the community as a Tumfo, because I was given this Tumfo because I did some works. I foster development in the community, and I know that having been given the title of Tumfo, it means that they want me to do more. So I will continue in that direction to make sure that my community is developed, my village is developed, and the farm is properly represented and defended wherever need may be.
Now, like we said, you're a Tumfo. What is the significance of the title to your career, and what is also the difference between your own title of Tumfo and the other Tumfo that we have in the Northwest?
Well, there are other Tumfos, particularly in my career. I'm a lawyer by profession, and the profession for a lawyer is about image building. You must be an honest and upright person to be designated in the sacred society of the fundum as a Tumfo. It's not something that they just appoint like that. It is done through.
So it's done spiritually before
a very
the
serious
physical
process.
Yes.
Before now, they have been calling me Tumfo because of the designation process that took place in the village. It had to cross several houses before it gets to the limelight. And when it was finally announced, they needed to do the respect and the dignity that should be accorded the fund is accorded to the Tumfo wherever the fund is not there.
So what is your own how is your own title different from the other Tumfos?
Of course, my own title different from the other Tumfos. The Tumfo of Mbengi Palace is the highest title in the fundum. It's the highest title, only second to that of a fund. It means that except you want the fund to give you his own title, the highest he can give you
is Tumfo.
For anything that he can do in the fundum. So our privilege, and I'm humbled, and I thank God for the designation to be able to represent the fund in this capacity, in this highest level in the fundum. To talk on behalf of the fund, to do what the fund is supposed to do in the center, south, and east region is not an easy task.
Of course, it's a daunting task.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to represent the fund in the center, south, and east.
Yeah.
It must be a daunting task.
It must be a daunting task because, of course, the nature of my job is such that I spend most of my time traveling to do one thing or the other, either within the country or even out of the country. We realized that when I was appointed Tumfo, it was generally acclaimed even by so many funds from Northwest that were equally present. Of course, we had the fund of Babongo, the fund of Modele, the fund of Guzan who was represented, and a host of funds from Meta clan. We had more than 18 funds present during the occasion, and the funds of Yaoundé, because I'm based in Colbison. All the funds that are around, they also answered present, because as somebody who knows what the traditional society is and how it is, whenever I get into a place, I make sure I identify the fundum, I make sure I identify myself with them and introduce myself with them, and I tell them that of course I can work with them and I can help them in any other way that they think I can do. Before the enthronement here only as Tumfo, I used to be the vice president of the Village Development Association in Minkwamiyus. Minkwamiyus is a village in Colbison.
In the central region of Cameroon.
In the central region of Cameroon, but I'm coming right away from Bengu, central subdivision of Nomo division, the Northwest region. So to come and occupy such a responsibility, and in our quarter there, in our village there, we have been doing a lot of developmental activities, doing roads, putting street lights. In short, when we started, people looked at us as if
How has it been with the crisis? You talk about a lot of developmental projects.
It's not been very easy with the crisis in the northwest and southwest region of Cameroon. We have been doing everything in our powers to encourage children to go back to school. You see, during the beginning of the academic year, we bought books, we bought didactic materials, we took them there for children to go to school. And I tell them that whatsoever tomorrow will be, we will need educated people. Whether it is what kind of country people want, let the children go to school. Some of those who are talking about the issues today, they are talking about it because they went to school, they read books, they now know the history. Do not tell others not to go to school, meaning that you are telling them not to know what you know, which is a very serious crime, and I think that posterity will judge anybody who disturbs a child from going to school. It's very unfortunate that so many people have been unable to go to school despite our efforts. But I must say that in Bengu Central Subdivision, schools are going normally, and most of the schools in the hinterlands have come to the Bengu Central Subdivision, have transferred to the Bengu Central Subdivision so that schools can go on. Though it started timidly, but as time goes on, people are going to school with our encouragement, because we have encouraged the elites of Bengu to make sure that the children go to school. If some people think that children should not go to school, let them just kill all of us, so that there should be no tomorrow for anybody. When it comes to Yaoundé or goes to the East region, and where they sell Accra banana 1 is 10 francs. There's no, tomorrow will be very difficult to convince that person to go back and be selling Accra banana 3 for 10 francs. That's what we are telling them. Most of those who are leaving, what is sure is that not all of them will come back. Most of them will now remain outside. Meanwhile, these were people that were already developing their area. They liked their area, they were comfortable with their area, but now they were forced to move and discover what they wouldn't have discovered if there was no war.
And some of those people, you have their parents this way, people that are carrying the guns in the bushes.
Well, those who are carrying guns, of course, it is rather unfortunate that we had to get there. We had to get to the level of some people carrying guns. I was making a speech in Bengu. I was 2017. And I was telling some people that the war you want to start, you might know how to start it, but you don't know how to end the war. No matter how right you are, you should be very reticent. You should be very careful to declare war. That is why I joined issues with the national chairman of my political party, His Excellency Lee John Frundi, when he had an opportunity to declare war. But he decided that for me to go to the presidency and let there be war, I better stay. Let me not go to the presidency. He had the opportunity to declare war, and if he had declared war, I doubt if I would have been alive today to answer Tumfo, because most of us would have been dead. We wouldn't have seen the light of today. So we are still calling on our brothers that people have various ways of asking for something. Well, they think that the political parties are very slow to get the results, and they think that with arms they could go faster. But we are gradually seeing that it's taking longer than they thought. So they should allow Cameroonians to freely express themselves in the way that they can. Those who can face the government will talk to the government through the ballot box or through parliament, through representation in parliament. And those of them who think that from the bush the government will listen to them. There is no way. It is not right to stop others from using their own means to be able to get what you are fighting for. I'm saying this because in the Northwest now, there was a call for SDF to come out of parliament, to withdraw all the parliamentarians, to withdraw all senators. But now that the CPDM parliamentarians are there and the CPDM senators, nobody is asking them to come out again. So it's as if the problem of Anglophones was the SDF. Now that the SDF is no more in parliament and in the Senate, let me see the results they will get.
Okay, Barrister. Let's now talk about your domain criminal investigation and forensic aspect. What is it? What is needed to become such an expert in Cameroon?
Become such an expert, what is needed is training. Some of us had to train, went right up to France.
We don't hear more often about such
that because
yes.
those institutions, the institution is new in Cameroon, and I happen to be the chairman of the International Institute of Certified Forensic Investigators. Now, I was elected and appointed some few years back to head the institution in Cameroon. Of course, now we have it in Cameroon. Our head office is around Olezwa. Anybody wants to get information about it can get to the head office and get more information. We have training seminars.
Yes, what is the job, before I even come to what I asked, what is the job of a forensic investigator?
Of course, the job of forensic investigator is investigation, in-depth investigation, and it is mostly criminal investigation. We have our tools that we use to investigate, especially when we get to crime scenes. We know what we are looking for. I'm a sworn expert. I've been sworn, and I work as an expert attached to the Court of Appeal of the Central Region. We do investigations and present our findings to the State Council. We are auxiliaries of the State Council.
Interesting. A lawyer being
I'm a lawyer, at the same time
too.
an investigator. But of course, I cannot be a lawyer in a case that I'm investigating.
Okay.
I can only be a lawyer in a case I did not investigate. Okay. If I investigate, I participated in the investigation of a particular case, of course, when a matter goes to court, I can only come to court and give my opinion as an expert opinion and not as a lawyer. Other lawyers will now play the role of a lawyer in that case.
Okay, quite interesting to hear. In Cameroon, how far has Cameroon gone with that aspect?
Well, we are struggling to make the Cameroonian authorities to know that using forensic investigators is actually going to help.
For joining me on tonight's edition of
the pleasure is mine. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very grateful. I've been watching